Welcome to Enigmas and Mysteries. Throughout history, witches have walked a fine line between light and darkness, knowledge and fear. From the mysterious healers of ancient villages to the terrifying figures of curses and dark magic, witches represent humanity's fascination with the unknown. In today's video, we'll dive into the world of witches, exploring the legends of both the good and the evil ones, uncovering their origins, practices, and the stories that have made them one of the most captivating figures in folklore. So if you're ready to uncover the mysteries of the witches and their enduring place in history and culture, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's enter the mystical and shadowed world of the witches. And remember, always question and seek deeper understanding. The origins of witches in folklore. To understand the dual nature of witches, we must go back thousands of years to when supernatural practices were part of everyday life. Ancient people believed that certain individuals had unique knowledge about the forces of nature and could communicate with spirits or gods. They called these people healers, wise folk, or shamans, depending on the culture. Their knowledge of herbs, potions, and the spiritual realm allowed them to heal the sick and guide their communities. These ancient practitioners held powerful roles, seen as keepers of knowledge. Imagine a forested village where a mysterious figure knew the secrets of plants and spoke to invisible forces. People would approach her in times of need or sickness, hoping she would bring them relief with her potions. But even as respected healers, these early witches carried a hint of fear among villagers, who saw them as both saviors and mysteries. Over time, and especially as religious doctrines took hold in societies, these practices came under suspicion. Magic and spirit communication became symbols of rebellion against religious order, transforming these healers into figures of suspicion. Thus, the wise healer began her journey toward becoming the witch feared in dark folklore. The evil witches, dark magic, and curses. The evil witch is the one who haunts nightmares. Dark witches represent the darker side of human imagination, embodying our fears of betrayal, curses, and supernatural harm. As Christianity spread across Europe, this dark image of the witch became the dominant portrayal. Witches were now associated with the devil, said to make pacts with him to gain dark powers. This transformation fed the hysteria that led to witch trials across Europe and America. The witch trials. The fear of dark magic and curses reached its peak during the witch trials, most famously in Salem, Massachusetts, and across Europe. People believed witches could summon demons, cause illnesses, or even destroy entire harvests with a single spell. This period of witch hunts was marked by terror and widespread paranoia, where many innocent people were accused, tortured, and executed under the suspicion of witchcraft. Dark curses and malevolent spirits. Dark witches were feared for their ability to cast deadly curses, summon spirits, and bring bad luck to those who crossed them. Stories spread of witches who used their powers to harm others, often seeking revenge on those they disliked. Legends of the Wicked Witch. Folklore is rich with terrifying witch characters. Baba Yaga from Russian tales is one of the most famous examples. This witch lived in a hut on chicken legs deep within the forest. She was feared for her cruelty and was said to eat lost travelers. The legend of Baba Yaga perfectly captures the power and fear associated with the evil witch, a figure who exists to cause fear and suffering. The good witches, healers, and protectors. Contrary to popular images of witches as evil figures, history shows us a gentler side. The good witches, also known as the cunning folk, or wise women. These witches were seen as protectors and healers, often using natural remedies, charms, and spells to help those in need. They were particularly common in rural areas of Europe, where access to formal medical care was rare and herbal knowledge was essential for survival. Cunning folk. In England and Germany, the cunning folk used amulets and charms to ward off evil spirits and curses. They were consulted for all kinds of problems, health issues, protection against misfortune, and even for love advice. These witches were part of the community, and their practice was respected. Midwives and herbalists. In small communities, midwives and herbalists acted as the local healers. They understood the power of plants and could create cures for common ailments, help with childbirth, and sometimes even predict the future. Many of these practitioners were women who learned their skills from generations before them. This type of good witch lives on in popular culture today. Movies and books often show witches as gentle, helpful figures, much like the fair Glinda in The Wizard of Oz or the friendly teenage witch Sabrina. These good witches represent the wisdom and power of nature, but without the darkness associated with their evil counterparts. The modern witch, a dual symbol. In modern times, the image of the witch has evolved. No longer purely a figure of horror, the witch now represents independence, knowledge, and power, especially in the context of feminism and self-discovery. Modern witches are often shown as complex, empowered figures who defy societal norms and live according to their own rules. Empowerment and feminism. The modern witch is often a symbol of independence, especially for women who are breaking free from traditional roles. This witch is a figure of rebellion, using her knowledge and power to forge her own path. Today, many people who practice witchcraft do so as a way of connecting with nature, finding inner peace, and asserting their autonomy. The witch in horror. Yet the dark side of the witch hasn't entirely disappeared. Horror films like The Witch and Suspiria have reintroduced witches as terrifying figures with supernatural powers, rekindling the fear of dark magic. These portrayals remind us that, even as we embrace the good witch, the evil witch still lurks in the shadows of our minds. The rise of neo-paganism and Wicca. With the resurgence of interest in spirituality, many people today identify as witches, practicing forms of witchcraft focused on healing, self-growth, and harmony with nature. Wicca, a modern pagan religion, embraces the concept of the witch as a figure of positivity, using rituals, herbal knowledge, and energy work for good. This modern take on witchcraft shows that the figure of the witch can embody both light and dark, strength and compassion. Witches remain one of the most complex figures in folklore, embodying both the power to heal and the capacity to harm. From ancient healers to dark figures of horror, the image of the witch has always adapted to the fears and values of society. Today, witches continue to be symbols of both empowerment and fear, standing as figures who challenge the norms and embrace the mysteries of life. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the mysterious world of witches. If you enjoyed this exploration into one of folklore's most captivating figures, don't forget to subscribe to Enigmas and Mysteries. Remember, witches may not always be what they seem, and sometimes the most intriguing mysteries hide in plain sight. And remember, always question and seek deeper understanding.